There's a quiet revolt brewing on cruise ships led by disgruntled passengers. The lines at guest services on the first day are getting longer, but it's not for room keys or dinner plans.
It's for one thing, getting those automatic gratuities wiped from their account like a bad 80s perm. What used to feel like a thank you for good service has now ballooned into a mandatory fee up to $20 per day per person.
And in 2025, after yet another round of aggressive price hikes, a lot of passengers are collectively saying, whatever, I'm over it.
This isn't about being cheap. It's a complete breakdown of trust, like finding out your favorite heavy metal band licensed a song for a minivan commercial. In this video, we're digging into why these massive tip increases are sparking a boycott and exposing the growing distrust over how the cruise lines are handling your money.
And stick with us till the end, because we're not only going to go over the problem, but we're going to also address some solutions.
This is the X-Files of cruise ship tips, and the truth is out there.
Welcome to JetX Cruise Life. If you can still hear the sound of one of these containers opening, then this is the cruise channel for you.
Let's start with the main issue. By definition, a tip is something that you give voluntarily. But on a cruise ship vacation in 2025, that idea is pretty much ancient history, just like watching something on network TV.
Now we have automatic gratuities, or daily service fees, which feel about as voluntary as a Ticketmaster convenience fee. These charges are slapped onto your onboard account every day of your cruise for every person in the cabin, and yes, that includes kids on most lines.
The real frustration kicked in when people started to notice these charges were skyrocketing. In late 2024 and early 25, several cruise lines announced major hikes. Royal Caribbean raised its rates to $18.50 a day for regular rooms and $21 for suites. Norwegian Cruise Line is now one of the most expensive, charging $20 a day for most staterooms and a jaw-dropping $25 a day for suites. That's more than my daily food budget in college. Other cruise lines like Princess and Carnival Cruise Lines have also bumped up their rates over time. Let's put that into real numbers. A family of 4 in a standard room on a 7-night Royal Caribbean cruise will be automatically charged over $518 in tips. On Norwegian, that same family is looking at a $560 bill. That's more than $1,000 for a 2-week vacation just in tips. And that's before you bought a single drink, gone on a single excursion, or eaten at a specialty restaurant, all of which have their own 18 to 20% service charge that's added on automatically.
It's the circle of fees. This is the core of that nickel and diming feeling, that corporate death by 1,000 cuts that's pushing cruisers over the edge. The question isn't how much should I tip? It's what am I even paying for? It feels like we're all in an episode of Seinfeld about nothing, except the nothing cost $1,000.
So that leads us to the big question. Where is all this money going to? Is it a tip jar or is it a corporate slush fund? If you ask some cruise lines, they have a simple, reassuring answer delivered with the sincerity of a boy band lip syncing. Royal Caribbean says gratuities are distributed to crew members, including dining, bar, culinary services, stateroom attendants, hotel service teams, as well as others on board who work to enhance the overall cruise experience. Carnival's brand ambassador, John Heald, has been firm, stating that 100% of the gratuities go to the crew. The official story is that it's all about fairness, making sure the workers you never get to see get a slice of the pie. It's a nice thought, like world peace or grunge making a comeback.
But this is where the trust, like the plot of a bad 90s sitcom, falls apart. A growing number of seasoned cruisers, fueled by a healthy dose of Gen X skepticism, are suspicious. The nagging fear is that these giant pools of gratuity money are being used by the cruise lines to make up for low base salaries, basically passing their labor cost on to you. It's like they're making us pay a cover charge and the band's salary. If that's the case, the gratuity isn't really a bonus for the crew. It's a subsidy for the cruise line. This doesn't smell like teen spirit. It smells like corporate greed.
The skepticism is made worse by another detail. Are the tips pooled per ship or across the whole fleet? While cruise lines like Royal Caribbean and Carnival use the word on board in their policy, suggesting the money stays on your ship, some cruise lines like Princess have policies stating that tips are distributed across the fleet. Some policies even state the tips made by all guests on all ships in our fleet are pooled and distributed fleet-wide.
This raises a huge question. Is your tip going to the person who served you so well, Or is it going to a huge pot that's going to be spread around the entire world? The lack of clear, consistent answers feels like a deliberate marketing play. Moving from gratuity to service charge sounds official and mandatory, like a pop quiz you can't argue with.
The real problem is the lack of transparency. Passengers get no report, no breakdown, and no proof about how their tips are distributed amongst the crew.
You're just told to trust the system. A system that's about as transparent as a brick.
This brings us right back to that line at guest services and whether or not you should get in it and remove the gratuities or service charges or whatever they're calling it.
On one side, you've got passengers who are basically saying, "Fight the power! Absolutely! Take them off!" Their reasoning is pretty compelling. First, it's a protest. By removing the charge, they're sending a direct message to the cruise lines. We're tired of these endless, forced price increases that feel like a bad sequel.
Second, it's about control. These folks want to tip with meaning, not just blindly feed the machine. They want to hand their cabin steward cash, look them in the eye, and have a real thank you moment that gets lost on a line item in a bill.
And on the other side, we have those that say removing gratuities is just plain unfair to the crew, and their points are just as strong. They correctly point out that while it's easier to give cash to your room steward or your favorite bartender, what about the person in the galley that looks like a character out of Clerks washing your dishes at 2 a.m.?
They work just as hard, and the pool tip system is the only way they get a fair share. If you remove the automatic charge, these essential crew members are going to get nothing from you. Plus, many crew members come from countries with lower wages and truly depend on this tip money to support their families. Taking that away directly hurts their income, no matter how righteous it feels.
And while it's debated, there is a concern that the crew can see who removed their tips, creating a weird passive-aggressive vibe that's more awkward than a middle school dance.
This is a really complicated issue, so we want to make sure that you see all sides of this debate.
And if you're getting some value out of this, do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It's absolutely free, unlike most things on a cruise ship. So what do you do if you're stuck between wanting to protest the system but not wanting to shortchange the crew? This is where we shift from the problem to some real solutions. Here are the two main strategies that smart cruisers are using. First, just pay cash. This is the punk rock approach. You go down to guest services, politely ask them to remove the tips, and then tip everyone you can directly in cash.
The plus side is you have total control. The huge downside is that it's almost impossible to tip the behind-the-scenes crew. You're never going to meet the people washing the tablecloths and the towels, so they're going to lose out.
It's a noble effort, but it's about as effective as trying to record a song off the radio in the 80s without the DJ talking over the end.
This is why so many experienced cruisers are now using a smarter approach, which is referred to as the hybrid tipping strategy. So here's how it works. You're going to leave the automatic gratuities on your account. I know, hang on. You're going to treat it like your cable bill. It's a baseline fee that you hate to pay, but make sure that the service works for everyone. But then you bring an extra wad of cash, your thank you fund, to directly reward exceptional service.
Did your cabin steward go above and beyond? Kick them an extra 20 or 50 or 100, whatever you feel like. Was there a waiter who remembered everyone's name? Tip them directly. Did you have a bartender who made your drinks extra strong? Hand them a 5 or 10.
The hybrid model is the best of both worlds. It makes sure that everybody gets paid, but it also lets you in a meaningful way reward the folks that made your cruise extra special. You know, the rock stars.
This whole cruise tip revolt in 2025 is a real turning point, like when Nirvana played on MTV Unplugged. Passengers are more informed and louder than ever, and cruise lines are being put on the spot. It's doubtful that automatic gratuities will ever completely go away. They're a huge, predictable source of revenue that lets them advertise those deceptively low cruise fares, which is the oldest trick in the marketing playbook. However, this passenger pushback might force some changes, like transparency. Cruise lines might be forced to show us where the money's going.
Most likely we'll see the industry continue to split. Some luxury lines like Virgin Voyages, who are kind of the Gen X of cruise lines, honestly, have already built in tips into their upfront price, which has been praised for its radical honesty.
We might see more cruise lines try out all-inclusive models to see how passengers respond. Ultimately, this whole fight isn't just about saving a few bucks. It's about a major shift in the relationship between passengers and cruise lines. It's a demand for respect, transparency, and getting back to what a gratuity is supposed to mean. It's the classic Gen X demand. Stop with the corporate BS and just be straight with us.
The power is shifting and cruisers are figuring out they have a voice. The The way you choose to tip has now become a statement.
So let's quickly recap. The tipping system is breaking down because of sky-high rates and a trust gap wider than the Grand Canyon.
Cruise lines say the system is fair, but passengers are fighting back because of lack of transparency about where the money is going, whether it's subsidizing salaries or pooling tips across the entire fleet. And we know that not every country tips as generously as they do in the United States, leading to much speculation online that the United States is subsidizing cruise ships leaving from other parts of the world. You can choose to remove the tips and pay with cash, but then you risk stiffing the hardworking people that you never actually see, which is a total buzzkill.
Or you can go with the hybrid strategy. The choice is yours, but at least now you can make an informed one.
This is the biggest conversation happening right now in the cruising world, online and offline. Which do you choose? Leave us a comment below. Are you paying cash? Are you doing a hybrid method? Or are you just leaving the auto tips on? Let us know. Leave it in the comments.
And hey, if you've watched more than one of our videos and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? It's free. Hit that subscribe button, and now YouTube has picked out a video just for you.